this morning of going to take my son to work because his car is disabled temporary. We are speaking it into existence that it is going to be fixed today, prayerfully. But I say I had the honors because my baby is 22 years old and he think he grown, y'all. Oh my goodness, I still have my 16-year-old here or what have you, but that 22-year-old, he has his own place. Very, very independent, too independent for me. Anita, good morning, good morning. Happy last Monday of 2025. But yeah, I went and got him and took him to work, which was no big thing. He acts like he don't need me no more. He does that 22-year-old. And I don't know how to feel about that. When he calls me to do something, y'all, I just be ready to do it. I'll be ready to do it because at the end of the day, yes, where he is older, he is growing. Of course, he don't need me as much as you know he did in previous years. I still be wanting him to need me sometimes just a little bit. But anyway, I'm just talking and talking while I wait for a few people to come in because as I was sitting here and I have those moments where I take that time to speak into myself, I just got some great things here that I just want to share. I think it'll be very, very rejuvenating, beneficial, just all the things to somebody this morning, to somebody. So come on in. Come on in. Okay, I think I got that. Sonia Johnson, how are you today? I hope you're doing well. Victor, happy last Monday of the month. Happy last Monday of the month. That's pretty cool though. This is the last Monday, y'all. You know what that means? It means we made it. Now I ain't no singer, but I'm just going, we made it. Hey, hey. Woo, Lord, we made it. I know there's still days to come. I know there's still days to come, but we have made it this far. We have. Just give me a second. I am trying to. So I got some new little things here. I'm going to see if I can get this set up real quick. While I wait, I am not the singer. Let me stop. But I like having those little moments. I like having those little moments where I that's not what I'm trying to do. Well, I just hum. I just go and hum some stuff. I could be thinking a word and it'll just put me and make me want to go and do just think I'm singing, but I got something for y'all. Just wait one sec. I am coming, I promise. I am. I always think I have it together when I'm doing this whole live thing and I'm still working on it. But however, it's the last Monday of the month, y'all. I mean, not the month, the year. It's the last Monday of the year. I'm finna get it together in a minute. Watch me. Watch me. It's something I'm down here doing, trying to figure this thing out. Okay. One of my little TikTok friends, family members, told me about a little thingamajigger. And my son, when he got that little thingamajigger for me, so I'm trying to Lord, see if I can get it to work. Good morning. I'm finna start in a minute. Watch me. Lord have mercy. Hold on. Think I need a little juice, baby. Just a little bit. Okay. There we go. I see what's going on, y'all. Y'all can't see, but I see GW. Good morning. It is the last Monday of the year. How you feeling over there, baby? Okay, this is just maybe. You know, sometimes, sometimes. How y'all doing this morning? Did everybody enjoy their Christmas? You finna see why I pulled you here in a minute. Okay, well, what I thought was going to do is not doing, so I'm just gonna have to do without it. But anyway, good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for showing up. This is Monday. This is not only just a Monday. We've went through many Mondays this year. I'm not gonna count. You could take the time to count them. I'm just not gonna do it. But this is the last Monday of this year, the last one, the last Monday of this year. And before we shout Happy New Year's in a few days to come, we need to tell the truth about this one right here. So I'm here for this one. This year right here. Y'all listen, you're gonna hear my little laugh here and there because I have to continue to remind myself. Like I like to have those moments where I just have a little reflection. And this year right here, it didn't come as gently. I know it may not only been for myself, it was some trials and some tribulations and some things. Good morning, Mo's Kitchen. Go on and get up and cook some breakfast over there. I'll be on my way when we leave this place. But like I'm going, so I'm just in my office. Y'all don't mind me. I'm just in the lab. But no, for many, for many, it's been an awesome year. Now, for myself, it's been an amazing year on purpose. But it does not mean that everything it didn't come as gently. There were some moments and some times it demanded growth throughout this year that I didn't feel I was ready for. Now I don't know about nobody else, but we have those moments sometimes where we go through a season of life and it demands growth before it's felt, before we feel ready. It exposes habits that we keep excusing. I, I was there. This is just my reflection of just the year in general. And as I reflect for myself, I just thought for a moment that maybe it'll be for somebody else too. Maybe somebody else would need to hear what needs to be heard and or what's being said. So I am just excited to be here now. As I did say, I was a little bit, I'm not even going to say late. I wasn't late this morning. I wasn't late. I was right on time. I had the honors to go over there and take that son to work, y'all. And, as a mother of a 22-year-old and a 16-year-old, they're not babies no more. They're not babies no more. So with him staying out on his own, very independent, yeah, I just needed I was just excited that I was called and say, "Mom, my car messing up. Can you come get me?" Y'all, I jump up so quick. I be tired. Anybody can't get me to do it. But when he called, I come because he has such a humbled heart. And yeah, I just love that kid. And I was just grateful. Oh, it may sound, I don't know how it's gonna sound to some, but I was kind of grateful he needed me this morning. Blended family, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Let me show you something. Listen, just needed you to know that I be listening, though. I be listening. Now, I should have probably charged it up. My son got this for me for Christmas. I should have probably charged it up. He moved on that thing quick because it was right after you had said something. I was like, I want that. I was in the car with him then. So I said, I want that. And he got it for me and it came right on time. But bless it, bless it, bless it. But no, seriously, seriously, seriously. This year, this is Monday. This is the last Monday of this year. And we are getting ready to embark into a new year. And we're talking about the numbers 2025, 2026. But I always feel that seasons and changes and months, they do signify some things in our life that would help us either reflect on where we come from and be intentional about where we're going. So how was y'all? It was great. Let me tell you. I'm not gonna say lazy. I'm not lazy. I was very restful over the break. I needed it. Um as a coach, I have clients I speak to on a regular, and just all the things, and just even individuals that's not clients, just being that, that voice in that space and things of that nature. I realize that I be needing a little bit more rest sometimes. So baby, let me tell you, put me in my moo and just sit me on my couch and I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. So it was a blessing, and I hope the same for you. And as I was saying, like, for many of us, because we're human, right? We're human, and life be lifing. This year didn't come so gently. It demanded growth when we didn't feel ready. It exposed habits that we kept excusing. It broke patterns we were comfortable living in. Listen, we have spoken about the fact that you're going to have to get uncomfortable to grow. It's not going to feel good. And some days you showed up strong. Yeah. Other days you showed up surviving. I don't know. I've probably been the only one that know about that thing called survival. But you know, if 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 I am, I just be her, because I am gonna be honest to the fact that that's what life felt like many, many, many days. So let's be clear, surviving still counts, because in the midst of surviving, it takes strength, it takes resilience, it takes, it takes not necessarily playing, it takes getting up when you just felt knocked down. Surviving, it counts, y'all. It counts. Now, when we are working on this new year becoming the year that we decide to allow ourselves to live, we're not going to discount the surviving. It counts, because it's making us who we are. It's helping us in our becoming. So I just wanted to tell somebody that today you lost some things this year. You may hear me say, and this is one of my things that I've been using, is my L's. They not lost, y'all. I don't want to claim them as lost. I want to claim them as lessons, because in everything that was taken from me that I would have considered as lost, it was for the greater good. It was for my benefit. And where sometimes I just didn't see it. Sometimes it didn't feel right. Sometimes I didn't understand it. Sometimes it's hurt. Sometimes, baby, I went in there and I told on God to God. I was like, God, do you see what you're doing? Do you see what you allow? Like, help me understand this thing. And he said, if you just hold on, and then you just remind yourself, being reminded that what you are looking at as lost, they was lessons. So I just wanted to elaborate on that, because I need somebody to understand that, what you felt that you lost this year. It could have been people, it could have been plans, it could have been a version of yourself you thought you'd keep forever. There is a part of us that has gotten comfortable with, a part of us that we should be uncomfortable with. Mm. There is a part of us that has gotten comfortable with, the part of us that we should be uncomfortable with. This is a moment I just want to tell somebody, as I tell myself, that it is okay to be to allow ourselves to get uncomfortable, to lose that version of us that we thought that we would keep, because it seemed that if it shielded us, it seemed as if it protected us. But I'm just here to just tell somebody, and it could be just myself, I'm telling that it's okay. Because I want you to understand, in those moments where the people walked away and we thought they was lost, those lessons, in those moments when that version of us had to shed, because the becoming of who we are was going to need a new version of us to show up. I want you to understand, if you look at those moments, what looked to be heavy, they also allowed you to gain discernment. I bet you didn't start watching the people that you had around you, watching the things that you were saying to yourself, watching how you allowed yourself to show up in spaces. Yeah, you gained some discernment. Don't count it out. I guarantee you there was boundaries that you had to set. You had to walk away from some places, some people, some things, because who you are was more important than staying in places to make somebody else feel good. I'm just saying. I just felt that somebody needs to know this, because there's somebody that's going to sit and they're going to say, oh my goodness, it's Monday, and it is the last year of the month, of the last day, the last Monday of the year. And what have I done? I guarantee you, this year somebody has probably, deepened their prayer life. I know I did. I know I did. Um, Somebody's voice got sharper. Come on now. Come on, y'all. Let me tell you, Coach Tawan this year started her podcast and she started speaking out more. She started even jumping on this thing called TikTok Live, baby, trying to join the space because for a long time I had allowed myself to be in position to where I swallowed my words way more than I should have. And this year it taught me some things. Now it wasn't perfect yet, and so I'm sharing this because I need somebody to understand that if you take a moment, just take a moment and reflect over the year and reflect and see that the fact that right here today you made it. Yes, okay, we can look at who didn't and who did. We came with some things. The Bible tells us that no weapon formed against us shall prosper. So there were some things that came, sweet baby, I know, but it didn't come to break you. It came to make you stronger. I just need you right now to just look over life, look over 2025, look over how you showed up when your back was beat down. That's just what I want you to do. And the backbone where fear used to live, there were some things that you did this year. There's some things and some responsibilities you had to pick up on. Mm. Even though you were scared, you did it. You did it. Give yourself credit for that. We're not going to discredit any of those things because everything that we did this year, every season that we entered into, every lesson we had to learn, every healing that we had to endure, the pain that came with it, the purpose that we get to see, it all matters. It matters. Just stick with me. It matters. Reflection isn't about beating yourself up. So this is reflection. What I want you to do is just take a moment to reflect because the season that you're about to walk into. I could be just talking to myself. Just so happened I was talking to myself. But if you feel like I could be talking to you, just say I'm here or some. Just say new me. Just put something in the chat bar because other than that, it's fine. It is fine because I have to talk to myself. And sometimes in those moments of speaking life in myself, God puts me in position to say, it's just not you. Because see, sometimes we think it's just us. Sometimes we think when we're going through some things, when life is just beating us down, when things just don't make sense, sometimes we think it's just us. I just wanted to tell somebody, if I could, that it ain't just you, sweet baby. It ain't just you. And so I figured that while I took a moment to speak into my own life, yes, as a coach, as an intercessor, as somebody who played this game of trying to be strong, understanding that she's resilient, and there's a difference in between the two. But this season right here is going to take a little bit more vulnerability from me. That's something I tell myself. Y'all don't mind me. I kind of talk to myself sometimes because in those moments where I just need things to make sense. Sometimes if I hear myself say it out loud, then it will. But that ain't why we here. Come on, I got something else I wanted to tell you. But I really just wanted you to know that it isn't beating yourself up when you reflect on life. It's about being honest enough to say this taught me something. I don't know. It's for somebody, but I know it's for me because baby, can I say I took every test I can possibly take this year, and it feels like it drained you because there were some moments I feel like I was just drained, y'all. Um, it feel like it drained you. But I just got this feeling in my heart and my mind to say, no, it may felt like it drained you, but I guarantee you it grew you some. Yeah, it did. I guarantee if you just reflect on it just a little bit before we end this day, this last Monday of this year, 2025, we won't get this one again. So before we live, it's okay to reflect on this year because where you're going, there's some things that you learned throughout this season in life that's gonna be fit perfectly, and it's gonna be possibly attached to some pain. It's gonna be attached to some parts of you that had to be broken and healed. Is all those things. It's okay because again, what did we learn? We learned that those L's we got, those L's that came and met us at that door, we would sometimes look at them as lost. But I am here to just tell you they're not lost, sweet baby. They're lessons. I want you to reflect on this. Where did you betray your own needs just to keep peace? Oh, it may hurt a little bit when you get to reflecting on it, but it's okay. It's okay. We need that. We need those emotions. We need those feelings because that's going to help us to see the things that we need to see so that we can move forward. It's okay. Because guess what? In those moments where you probably betrayed yourself, I guarantee you there was moments where you finally chose yourself. You walked away from some things this year that hurt, but it wasn't going to serve the purpose. And it was only there to teach you something. It was only there to do a thing in that season. So this season that you're entering into, be okay. Be okay. You chose you. I know you love this person. I know you wanted this thing. I know, and it felt like you was giving so much to this space, but then you decided to wake up one day, and you decided to say, I'm just, you see it, I'm done. Even when your voice shook, even when you didn't have all the answers, even when you didn't know exactly what was going to go on, how it was going to play out, even if you did not know because you were so comfortable in this space that you had created, but you chose you. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. I'm gonna do it for you. I'm going to clap for you. We're not worrying about what we chose before then. We're worrying about the fact that we decided to make a different decision as this year closes. It made me think, y'all. So I was going to say this one thing, but I'm going to have to say this because y'all already know how I get a little silly sometimes. And ain't no telling how my mind going to go. I'm going to have to go through my cabinets, make sure I don't have no expired. I don't do a lot of canned goods, but I got some things in there. And I don't know where I got it from, but they just holding up space. And I'm going to go in there before the weekend and I'll make sure I get everything that's in there that has an expiration date that has already passed. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it because what I don't want to do and what we not going to do, we not going to carry what's expired with us along the journey into next year. There are some parts of us that has expired. There are some parts of us that we no longer need. There are some people that, we just no longer should be holding in the cabinets. We're just going to have to let them go. So I just wanted to let somebody know that this is a moment and an opportunity that you can make a decision to not carry what's expired with you. Don't drag old guilt into new seasons. Okay, okay, okay. We all make mistakes. We all go through things. That's how we learn. That's how we grow. That's how we understand where we are, where we going, where we at. All those things. That's what makes us us by going through some things. Don't carry the guilt of what you didn't do into this season that you're entering into. Because the things that you went through, although it may have came with a little hurt, I still believe in my heart, as is for me, the same for you, that is all part of purpose. So don't drag guilt into this new season. You're gonna have to let it's expired. Can somebody just go ahead and type expired in the chat bar? Because yeah, I say chat bar like it's the whole bar sitting there, but you know what I mean. Don't make permanent identities out of temporary struggles. Y'all got to understand me. I have been through some things, some places, and all the things. And I had to understand that I was still becoming this year. Becoming and intentional are my words, was my words, and I carry those because those won't expire because they're allowing me to understand that it's a part of my life. I'm just saying, I'm just saying, I'm just saying. There are some things we experienced this year. I want you to go ahead and just shake it off. Just shake it off because that was temporary. We're not going to allow it to be our permanent identities. You're still becoming. I want you to let this year end with clarity. Let the new one begin with intention. You just heard me say a minute ago that my words are one of them is intention. It feels good to just think about it. If you allow yourself to just look back for a second to see where you've come, how much you've grown, how much you survived, because again, we remember surviving do count. It counts. It counts, damn it. Don't let nobody tell you differently. It counts. We go through this phase where we start as life, hits us, as life do what it's going to do for us and to us. We start to think and wonder and start questioning ourselves and things of that nature. I want you to know it's not even a new personality that you need. You just need a new posture, sweet baby. Yeah. The posture that says, I'm aligned, I'm accountable, and I'm willing. That's what it takes. But sometimes we look at spaces and we're comparing ourselves to places and people and things that ain't got nothing to do with us. And it makes us think that we have to be more than that. One thing I did last year, and will continue to do it this year because it made sense to me when I did it, is I made a decision to walk into the new year lighter. I was going to walk through this thing wiser and where there's still some things that I am waiting to flourish, some things that I am still waiting on. Okay, if it's going to have to meet me in 2026, it's being prepared. I'm more rooted in that understanding. I'm not rushing. If it didn't work now, it just means that I was operating on my time, not God time. So we got to go ahead and, just think and process this thing a little bit different because I know when it's left up to me and I try to make the decisions, I'm going to be rushing it. I'm going to be trying to prove myself, just moving. Moving on purpose is what I'm just choosing to do. I just wanted to come here and tell somebody else as well that this year is your opportunity. It is not too late. Whoever told you that it was, they was a lie. And what people say about you, hey, ain't got shit to do with you. I'm just saying, I'm going to get over here and mind my business. And I hope didn't nobody mind me saying that little S word because, baby, I am still in the process, in the medium between hood and holy. And I am human before I'm anything else. Come on, let's keep on going. I just wanted to make sure I didn't offend nobody because there's nothing that I would say or do would be that portrayed, right? I'm just saying. Before we really get to talking about the new year, because we just understood that we needed to reflect on this year, understanding where we at, where we've been, what we've accomplished, what we still working on, understanding that even those moments where it just seems like, oh, I failed, failure is an opportunity of learning, baby. You didn't fail. You got finer and wiser and you got a little bit more understanding. You should have learned that L that we got this year, that L. If you allow yourself to stop thinking that they're losses and understand that they're lessons, I guarantee you it's going to change how you look at things. So before we talk about next year, let's just sit with this for a moment. Where you at? I don't know about you, but I like them and I need them, so I'm gonna do it too. Just take a deep breath with me, please. And you can close your eyes if you want. I want you to feel everything you carried this year. The wins, the losses, the surprises, the heartbreaks, the joy. This year wasn't easy. Oh, sweet baby, I'm so sorry to tell you that it wasn't supposed to be. It scratched you, it tested you, it taught you. I don't know about you because this could just be for me, but I'm going to tell you before I tell anybody else, I'm always talking to me first because none no matter how much I've grown, none no matter how much I've healed, none no matter how much, all the things, every day is a process. So I don't know. I don't know who I'm talking to other than myself, but I have to constantly remind myself. So I figured, why not tell you too that it's a process? It's not going to happen just overnight. It's going to take some time. It's a process. But every day that you wake up and you just give that 1%, you are giving yourself more than you can ever imagine. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So I want you to remember it wasn't easy. I got that. I got that. I know it. I'm telling you, I'm the one telling you. But again, it wasn't supposed to be. It was supposed to teach you some things. You had to be stretched, sweet baby. You had to be tested. You had to be tested so you could be taught. And you needed to be taught in this season, and it just so happened to land the way it did because you're going to need it. It's not over. I'm just saying, it's not over. I just want to know because I know if you're here, you're here. And at some point, you may see this, and I know that you visited by. And if it may be possible, if you could just do me, one last favor for yourself. If you've made it and you understand that your survival still count, could you just go ahead and type I'm still here. I'm still here because that alone is victory. I woke up some days this year, sweet babies, that I woke up some days and I was like, dang, it was a little heavy, but I didn't forget to remind myself that I'm still here. And you know that when we're still here, it means something. It means our stories are still being written. You showed up for yourself. That is never small. When you decided to get up when life was trying to knock you down, you still showed up. That don't treat that as a little thing. That's not little, because surviving and thriving and learning and growing through pain, through confusion, through doubt, man, that is strength that is best. See, you had to be strengthened in this season. So you had to go through them things. You see what I'm saying? You see why I'm trying to tell you that it wasn't meant to be easy. It was meant to teach you something, because how could you know you're strong enough if you don't even go through anything? If you don't even get off the porch? Oh, I know. I know it's uncomfortable, but growth sometimes it's going to put us in some very uncomfortable spaces. This morning we're just going to reflect, but the reflection don't have to be heavy. We've already carried the heavy part. It's powerful because it allows us to see what we've overcome, hmm who we've become, hmm and what we refuse to carry into next year. Listen, if you've not done it already, you should be taking some time, getting your pen and your paper and writing down what you're not carrying into the next year. Because remember, there's some things that we still have in our cabinets that has expiration dates on it. And we just not gonna walk into the new year with things that's expired. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Listen, if there's anything that's hitting the heart of the spirit, to go ahead and tap that. Oh my God, I'm looking at the love in there. The love, let me tell you, let me tell you. Thank you for the love, because there was many moments that I sat, I had a lot of people around. Like, it's been a great year. Like, I have had some people to show up for me, show out for me. The small experience, the big experience, all the things has been great. But there were some moments. There were some moments that I'm not gonna lie to you that and say that I didn't sit on my couch, and where I like, I can be, a little introverted, extroverted. I deal with a little bit of both. But sometimes those moments that I sat on that couch, and I just thought to myself, like, I wonder what it would feel like to, like, truly intentionally be loved. It's some things that are taking place in life, y'all. I can't even tell y'all about it right now because I'm still trying to understand it myself. But when I say the love, I love the love. Thank y'all for the love. This year, even if it felt incomplete, even if some dreams didn't come true yet, even if you stumbled and fell, you're here. You're here. You, you could have been anywhere else, but you're here. That just means your story is just still being written now. Then this is the cute part. I want you to understand, because this is something I had to tell myself also, is, are you going to decide to be the main character of your story? The one that's still being written? The one that you woke up to? Because you're still in it. There's a part in life that you still got to play, but you're going to have to decide how your character gonna show up. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, because you're breathing. You are ready to step into the next chapter. Go ahead, flip the page. You've read all that other stuff. All these blank pages just waiting for you to continue to tell your story. Now, I want to ask you a question and I want you to think about it so you can really reflect on it. I could be being a little nosy, but I can be a little nosy sometimes. But you ain't gonna have to tell. You ain't gotta tell me. You can keep it to yourself because yourself is more important to carry it. What story are you going to write about yourself this upcoming season in your life? I was just saying, I'll just give you something to think about now. So today, we've already had that moment where we took a second to pause together. Let's honor the moments that built us. Remember, I just told you and just showed you a minute ago that there were some things that you went through. That was some doors that got shut. There were some things that just didn't happen, but you were strengthened in them. So don't forget that. And there were some moments you had to survive. You had to just get it out. It was, but survival still count. We still here. We made it. So I just want you to take a moment and I want you to honor those things. I want you to honor what built you. I want you, ooh, hey, don't choke on it now, Tawanda. I want you to release the things that weighed you down. Yeah. None to matter this year. It's been a great year. Although there's some dreams I'm still waiting to meet y'all. There's some things I'm still waiting to happen. And I decided that I'm walking out this year, honey, strutting. I ain't gonna have my heels on, probably a little tennis shoe, cause the way this knee be acting. Ain't nobody got time for that. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. There were some things that weighed us down this year. This is a moment to just realign with the energy, with the courage, with the vision that we want to carry forward. This is your story. You got to go ahead and determine how you're going to write it, sweet baby. Yeah, yeah. And while we sit here, just know this: you are enough. Mm. I remember many of those days when I felt that I just wasn't enough. It just didn't seem like it is. It's like you give so much into this space and that space, and you just turn around and it's like, really, you still need more, type thing, and then it helps you. It has you in this space to where you start trying to check yourself. This ain't the season we checking ourselves over other people's expectations. What are you expecting from yourself this year? That's all that matters. That's all that matters. It matters because I need you to know that none of matter what you didn't complete, none of matter who walked away, all those things that just didn't feel right, didn't sit right. You're enough. Mhm. You was capable. I mean, in that moment where you had to walk away from a situation that you knew wasn't serving you, in those moments where you just felt like life was just beating you down, but you still got up, you're capable. I'm trying to tell you, listen, listen. You are deserving of joy. Give it to yourself this season coming up. Peace and growth in the years to come. Go ahead and allow yourself to sit in a space of knowing and understanding that this new season is going to be better because you reflected and you've grown from the last season. I'm just saying, I'm just saying, I'm just saying, listen. I don't know. Do I got anybody here with me? Go ahead and tap that screen. Show me some love if I do. Y'all was so excited about my little doohickey. And my doohickey ain't doohicking. Hey. Okay. There's a truth about this year for myself. Now I don't know, it may be for you too, but I don't know. But this year it exposed it exposed things that I prayed wouldn't be touched. It showed you because it showed me I could be just talking to myself, but I don't want to leave you out. So I'll say you, as well. It showed you who is committed, and who is comfortable. Sometimes we have people around us and they're just comfortable. They're not really committed. It showed you who were, um, where you overgave and where you under received. Sometimes we can get so caught up in just being in the place and just doing the thing and just helping out, and all those things. And there's something about this year. There's some moments in this year where it showed you when you gave more than what you received. Now, it's not saying that we're given to receive. That's not what we're saying. But we are going to take account to what we're actually receiving, because as we give out, we start to replenish, and what we need to replenish ourselves. So sometimes, like, who want to just always give and not receive anything? It revealed the cost of ignoring red flags. Those red flags could have been in relationships and businesses and self-talk. Like, listen, listen, I became the red flag detector this year. Lord have mercy. I'm looking forward to seeing what next year gonna look like, right? I did, as I'm, becoming still, and as I'm growing, and as I've healed and still healing through some trauma, through some pains, through some things I had to allow myself to acknowledge in order for me to grow, in order for me to allow myself to sit in the space of understanding that. Oh, I think I did it again. Y'all give me a hot second. What about now? It's always good to have someone to kind of stop through or pass through, and they actually have my direct contact, and they just reach out and let me know that YouTube ain't hurting it. All YouTube is just being over here, just moving about. Hi, it's me, Trey. Trey, come through, Dre. Trey, Dre, Trey. Drag. That's you, nephew. Nephew, come through, nephew. Come through, nephew. Um, it revealed the cost of ignoring red flags. Ignoring red flags, it cost us some things. Some lessons they came quietly. Others they came a little violently. Yeah. But I want you to hear this. Nothing you went through was a waste. Sometimes we go through things in life, and we just think, oh, that's just a waste of time. Like, I went through some crazy relationships, but I don't even look at them as a waste of time, because that was my time. And if it just worked for me to go back in there and to evaluate and look at it, and instead of looking at it as a waste of time, I found those lessons that was in it. It was something that I learned in those moments. It's not a waste of time. I want you to take a moment to ask yourself, because when you're actually doing reflection and you're trying to get from this place of, despair to this place of clarity, or whatever it is we're searching for, right? Whatever it is needed, because in different seasons and different times in life, we're all needing something a little bit different. These are very important questions to ask yourself this year, about this year. What did this year teach me about me? What did this year teach me about me? What did this year teach me about me? Hold on. TikTok, I am. I mean, YouTube, I am sorry, baby. I don't know. I'm gonna have to just go ahead and do my YouTube separately, and then then get on TikTok a little later time. So I may have to readjust just a little bit. But where did I abandon myself to keep peace? There are some moments and situations that probably took place this year where you abandoned yourself to keep peace. Remember, these are questions. YouTube, if the sound is up now, I hope that it is. But these are questions that you're asking yourself, and don't rush to answer them. Don't rush to answer them. What did this year teach you about you? Where did you abandon yourself to keep the peace? What did you outgrow but kept dragging along? Those are things to actually ponder on, because when you're as we stated, this is the last Monday of 2025. And when we go writing the date of 2026, we're going to write that date with more clarity, because every day that we spend in 2026, we're going to work to spend those days with clarity. We're going to spend those days intentionally. We're going to spend those days acknowledging us more than we've allowed ourselves to be acknowledged by ourselves throughout this year. Now, some of us may be in different places and stages, but I'm always talking to me still. I don't care how much I grow, how much I heal. It's gonna always be a practice, because guess what? When you think of me, I'm 44 years old, and yeah, my journey of healing came a little bit. My journey of healing came, I don't know, came a little bit. I don't. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. I was getting something with YouTube. I'll just have to deal with it here in a minute. But our moments of healing, it came with some lessons, some things we learned, right? Um I'm sorry, yeah. uh oh, that may be yours. Hold on. I started doing the lives and stopped doing my recordings when I was actually just recording my my podcast, because it was a lot of editing. Now this then if I can't get this thing right in the mountain times, yeah, I got a lot going on. If I can't get this thing right, and I don't know, I'll be getting messages sometimes saying that YouTube be over here acting up and stuff. So we gonna see. Anyway, let's go ahead and keep with it. I'm so sorry. Let's go ahead and keep with it. What we was talking about. We was talking about this year, and I was over here trying to make sure the love was shown over here, but we gonna get it a little bit later. I'll just have to repost this video. Some of you, it could be including myself, because I talk to myself as well, didn't thrive this year. You survived. And the world keeps telling you that survival is not enough, but survival is sacred. You got up when you wanted to quit. That's survival at its finest. You prayed when you didn't have the words. Um, you kept going with a cracked heart and tired faith. Ah, survival is enough. Remember, we not gonna count it short. We're gonna acknowledge it, because it does matter. It's not weakness. You know, living in survival mode now. I like I'm in love with the transition. I'm in love with the transition. But we're not gonna sleep on survival mode. Like, coming out of survival mode, baby, we learn some things. You understand? We are strengthened in some areas. We endure some things that most people can't. So don't sleep on survival mode, although you don't necessarily want to stay there, because it's also tied to some habit and some behavior and some thoughts that we don't need to carry along with us in this new season of life. But surviving taught you resilience. It allowed you to be in that space. You kept getting up. You kept getting up. That's survival. And where of course we don't want to stay in that space, you don't need to stand on the neck of that space, because it's going to allow you to see the space in which you're actually looking to enter into. um Stop shaming yourself for not being productive during season that was about preservation. Sometimes we go through these seasons and things are not showing up and ain't happening and ain't going the way we want them to, and we start shaming ourselves. We start feeling some type of way, and I just want to say that that's not what that's about. This season, baby. This was your preservation season. Surviving is showing up when no one sees, because everybody minded their own business, which is okay. But you showed up anyway. You showed up when no one was there to applaud. You showed up when the weight was unbearable. That's survival. And I want you to know that if you've been, I'm talking to myself, to Wanda, if you've been through this space of survival, I want you to know that it's okay. It's okay because it taught you some things. It's okay because in these seasons that you survive, you know what we got? We got some L's. But then you learned that your L's, where you used to thought they was losses, they was lessons. It's more powerful to move forward with. I just need somebody to know this, because you are about to enter into a new season in life, a new chapter in life. And I want you to enter into this space as clear as possible. You cannot carry expired things into this new year. That's why the reflection is important. That's why the declarations that you choose to make to yourself before this year ends, before this year ends, is important. I need you to go ahead and check your cupboards, check your refrigerator and things of that nature. Anything that's expired, check your heart, check your mind, check your environment. Check the friendships that you have, the relationships. I want you to check them, because there could be possibly some things in your presence that has an expiration date, and I'm gonna need you to go ahead and put it to the side. It won't need to carry along with you into this new year. Some of us are holding on to what's familiar. It's not Holding on to what's familiar is not the same as alignment. You're going to have to let go of some things, sweet baby. This is a new year. I don't care. Listen, listen, listen. I'm not concerned with what happened yesterday's and the days before as to where it can hold me down now. I'm only concerned because it was something. If I traveled it, if I went through those days, those moments, met me, it was something that I needed to learn. And with learning what I've learned, I learned that moving into the new year, moving into 2026, this is for somebody. It may just be for me, and I'll take that. Moving into this new year, I want you to go ahead and be okay with releasing guilt. I want you to go ahead and be okay with the old version of yourself, the old expectations from people who never showed up. You know them people. You know them ones that always got something to say about what you got going on. We ain't gonna talk about them. That ain't what we hear. That ain't why we here. But those old expectations, we're gonna have to go ahead and dust them off. The old narrative that says this is just how I am. Baby, you've been becoming. The identities and the pains and the things that you have went through, that's not your permanent identity. It's just temporary. So it's not just who you are. You can make a decision to be different, but you got to be able to give yourself permission to make the changes that need to be changed. I'm just saying. So I want you to ask yourself, because again, you already know, You can go through and you can try to figure it out, but sometimes it takes for you to ask yourself a question and answer it honestly. Who am I afraid of letting go of because it once worked? I'm just saying, I'm going to say it again for those in the back that didn't hear me. Who am I afraid to let go of because it once worked? That could be a version of yourself. That could be a relationship. That can be, jobs. That can be just people. That can be friendships. You got to determine it for yourself. Say, I wrote mine down. I did. I wrote mine down and I made a cautious decision, not a decision out of pain. I wasn't bitter. I wasn't mad. I wasn't angry. I made a decision that I knew was going to protect my peace. I made a decision to show up for me. And sometimes when showing up for yourself, some people going to be a little feelings hurt. Some people going to be a little disappointed. That's okay. That's okay. In this moment, if there's anybody, when you evaluate, when you think of it, if there's anybody that you've been afraid to let go of because it's so comfortable, go ahead and tell yourself this is your season to get uncomfortable so you can grow. You don't. Oh, well, I'll take the clap, but that ain't what I was doing, y'all. I was just pointing. I got a little carried away with that point now. But no, write it down. Even if that version, even if that even if that person is you, there's a part of you that may needs to that walk away from a version of you that is no longer sitting into the space. I'm just saying, letting go isn't a loss, sweet baby. It's the obedience to growth. That's why we have made a decision to take our L's. We're going to take our L's, understanding that they're not losses, they're lessons. Remember, it's making space for the next season of your life. Yes, you are not failing by releasing what no longer serves you. You rising. Some things that we got and we holding on to, they just holding us back. There is something that's being tugging at the spirit that you are meant to be greater than what you have allowed yourself to experience thus far. I'm just saying, go ahead and be okay with releasing those things that no longer serves you. It's going to make a better version of you. Notice how heavy your hands feel. Just notice, like, just think about it. Now, I may just said it, but we're not going to take it lightly. Sit for a moment and notice how heavy your hands feel. Notice the feeling, the density of your hands. Do they feel heavy? Be honest. I ain't gonna force you to say nothing, but do they feel heavy or do they feel light? If they feel heavy, that's the weight you've been carrying. You've been carrying some weight. Go ahead and flip those hands over and go ahead and let it go. Because you're carrying some things that you just don't need to carry no more. They don't need to go with you in this next season of life. Today, I just need you to, this last Monday of the year, I need you to just go ahead and flip the hands over and put it down. The old stories, the old wound, the old version of yourself, they all had seasons. That season is over. The season is over. So what do we do when the season is over? Allow yourself and give yourself the permission to understand that it's your time. Yes, it's your time. So I want you to ask yourself this. Those things that we have been holding on to, those things you've been holding on to, those things that you have been so comfortable with, so familiar with, you just don't want to walk away from. Ask yourself this. If I release this, what space am I creating in my life? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. If I release this, what space am I creating in my life? I'm not a gardener. You hear people say to talk about the green thumb and stuff, baby. My thumb as brown as you see right here. Okay. But one thing I do know is that you can't plant seeds in soil full of weeds. We're gonna have to clear some things out. Yeah. We're gonna have to clear some things out because they it's just weeds. Hey now, if you done played out there in the yard or you done been out there in the yard, you know the difference between plants and weeds. So I need you to evaluate your life and I want you to know the difference between seeds that you're ready to plant and leaves or weeds. You understand? This is your season. I know. Listen, there are some things that happened this year, maybe the years before, and things of that nature. There are some things that you may have not been proud of, and some things that you may felt you settled for. All those things that happen, right? We're human, right? I want you to know that you are not what happened to you. No, you're not the divorce. You're not the delay. You're not the detour. You're not the disappointment. Those was just experiences. They're not definitions. Remember a couple of weeks ago, I was talking about E plus R equal O, the event plus the response equals the outcome. You remember that? We can't control we have no control over the event. We have control over our responses, and our responses will help us to get to the outcome that we're really seeking to have. Understand that events are experiences. They're experiences. Some of you need to stop introducing yourself through pain. Your story includes struggle. Yes, yes, we've been there. That's understood, but it does not end there. And I think that's the part that we forget. It doesn't end there. Let me fix that. If you have a moment, you can say it to yourself or you can say it out loud. Of course, I'm going to say it out loud because I'm telling you to say it. So say it with me or say it to yourself or even type it if your fans are free and you're able to do so. I am evolving. I am evolving. You know, um, because of my conception, because of how um, my come about, let's say, came into place. My mom, she was young. She was, 19 years old. I was a third child. She was on birth control. Come on, promise. Promos only. But she was on birth control. And so of course, the young age and things of that nature, she wasn't looking to have more children. And I remember growing up, hearing her say oftentimes, like, I was a child that wasn't supposed to be there. I was that mistake, and things of that nature. But I realized it took me a long while. It took me a while to understand that maybe to her I was a mistake, but not to God. I was here with purpose. You're not a mistake. You're not a setback. You are your courage to rise again and again and again. 44 years, 44 next 45, 44 years, 45 next month. It took me some years, but I realized that every time that I wake up and I have an opportunity, it's up to me on how I was gonna write that story. Hey, I'm just saying. I'm just saying, stop apologizing to people for you growing. Stop dimming your light to make others comfortable. You're going to have to understand that you're more than your fears and you are more than your past. This is your season. Go ahead and get that pen and paper and write your story. I want you to understand that, yes, there were some struggles and some pains that met you, but your struggles added depth. It added wisdom and it added resilience. That is a part of that is a part of evolution, sweet baby, not your definition. You attaching things to your identity just because you went through it, not understanding that those were the experiences. It's not the pain that you went through, it's the lessons that you got from going through it. Let's go ahead and reframe how we think about those things. When you go through life and because I was at one point in time, and I was like, I thought I was just going through collecting all the pain. You get a pain, you get a pain, you get a pain. But then I realized that I was collecting strengths, sweet baby. I was collecting lessons. I was collecting dreams that I hadn't yet even realized that would even possible. I was collecting some things that allowed me to be here today. So what I've went through in my past, I could be just speaking to me, but if it's for you, just go ahead and receive it. What you went through, it wasn't a waste of time. It was the best time used in your becoming. I'm just saying, because God doesn't waste seasons. See, when we think that the things that we went through in life and how life has just showed up for us, and okay, if it don't show up the way that we wanted to, but I'm just saying, everything has a purpose. Everything has a purpose. When we think that our time was a waste, then we start thinking that God wasted time. Those moments that we think of wasted, trust me, every moment, every piece of it, every attachment to it is being used. I'm just saying. Every closed door, it redirects you. Every delay, it develops you. Every tear watered something you haven't seen yet. Remember those moments where, baby, I cried the ugly cry. I cried the ugly cry. And I didn't realize at the time, but now I realize, and shortly afterwards, that those tears was watering something greater in me. The things that I sat and cried about was the things I sat and thought about, and I allowed myself to think myself out of the pain and see it as purpose. You don't need to know your next year will work. Just know it will work. You don't need to know how. I'm just realizing it's a short moment. You don't need to know. Yeah, it was replaying in my mind, like, wait a minute. I said it so fast. Did I say it right? No. You don't need to know how it's going to work. Of course, you're not going to know all the pieces. Of course, you're not going to know what the days look like. But you can trust and you can believe that it's going to work. It's going to work. Thank you for the rose. Alignment is louder than resolution. Remember that. Remember that. Some of the answers you've been praying for are already on its way. I know, I know. Sometimes, like, listen, we have a father up there, baby. So I ain't have my real daddy, so I don't know how daddies be playing for real, for real. But my daddy, he play, he do. I be like, really? Really, that? So that's what you doing with your time? Like, he's a whole jokester. I wish I could just make a whole TikTok with him and y'all just see how he be playing, because he don't play about his daughter. But one thing I've realized is that there's some prayers that I'm still waiting on. You heard me say waiting on it, because I'm not going to choose to not wait because it hadn't showed up when I thought it was going to show up, because I'm thinking it's a delay. I'm just going to trust the timing, not the calendar. We need to stop looking at those dates all the time thinking we too late and stuff, because we're not. Faith doesn't mean knowing the way. So we step into space thinking we need to know every detail before we make a move. Move anyway. Do it scared. Do it unsure. Do it with all without all the resources, without all, just make a decision to do it. Even if that decision that you made is just choosing you. I want you to remind yourself as you go through this new year to take breath and release control, understanding that it's God's timing. And his timing is perfect, even when it feels late, even when it feels like it's not making sense or he's not listening, you're not being heard. Trust me, you are here. You are still here. So it's not too late. Even when you don't see the full picture, just still take one step forward. Let faith be your map. You know, he said, the Bible says, just a faith as small as a mustard seed. Baby, I be giving God my little mustard seed because I be over there like, Father, you know your daughter needs you right now. But he said, I already gave you what I need you to have to get through what you need to get through. Be intentional this year coming up. You're gonna have to be intentional. That's one of my words. One of my words are being intentional. Okay. When you wake up, intentionally wake up. Okay. Don't set goals before you set boundaries. There's some things that you're gonna want to do, need to do, has to get done. But I need you to set boundaries before you set the goal. Okay, because if you set the boundary before you set the goal, then you'll have better chances and opportunities of, really accomplishing the goals. Thank you of really accomplishing the goals. But if you just go and set the goal without boundaries, then you're going to be moving the post line too much. You're not going to get what it is that you want because anybody can come over there and move the line for you, and you wouldn't know what to do other than to just accept it. So go ahead and set your boundaries around what it is that you're looking to do. Because there's some people, and we got our own thing. Like I used to be out there, I used to call myself a hustler, baby. I am not a hustler, I'm a manifester. I ain't got hustle in me no more. There's no more hustle. There's no more noise. I don't need all that. I don't need all that extra. I don't need all the more people access and things of that nature. I just need clarity, sweet baby. Now, I don't know. Again, y'all done heard me say I might just be talking to myself, but just in case I'm not, and somebody needed to know, like, if I don't need